Hello my Amazon friends, it's me Karina, and in today's video I'm actually going to be physically showing you how to do your Amazon split testing. Now I made a part 1 video to this which was quite lengthy, so I couldn't include both parts, but basically if you want to watch that video, it's going to be up here and I'll link it down below. I talk about the aspects of your Amazon listing that you can split test, which means finding out if a version A or version B is better if you have a product, and also before you have a product. So there's a lot of variables that go into this. Here's a quick little kind of guideline I made. I discuss all of this in detail in my first video, so if you do want to check it out, it's linked down below. But as I mentioned before, I'm actually going to take this video to make a full kind of use of this and show you how the website works. It's at pickfu.com, and essentially it lets you poll people, and you can actually poll Amazon shoppers, and they let you know if they would buy one product versus another or pretty much anything, and that's how you know if it's going to perform better one or the other. So you can get really targeted, and I wanted to show you how it works. And the best thing is also they give you kind of an explanation to why they would pick. So this helps you kind of further optimize your listing, whether it's your actual images or anything else that it could be. So like I said in the last video, the most important things that I believe help out, especially when you start out, is testing the images. And if you are using this, guys, use my code Karina50. It's going to slash the price of your first poll in half, which is really awesome. 50% off. It's a great alternative. Not alternative, but it's a great discount. So here's how it works. So you have your main image versus your competitor image. Now I'm going to be using these two listings right here. I've already downloaded the pictures right here. It's going to be this product. It's an eye supplement versus this one right here. Now there's many different things we can test, but to get the optimal split testing, I really like to break it down into kind of single components that we can isolate and we know why it's performing well. So I like to test, for example, the images separately and then package design separately, because that really helps you. So later I might do a video testing other things, but for now I'm just going to test kind of our product versus a competitor product and see which one customers will buy, and I'll actually show you in real time the responses coming in and things like that. So let me show you how it works. So I just downloaded the two pictures. All you have to do is create an account, and then you go here to the polls, option A and option B. So here are the pictures uploaded, and we're only going to be accounting for kind of the first initial image. If I wanted to do packaging, I could do that as well, but right now these two listings, these are their main images. So I want to see if kind of the image is the determining factor to why people buy it. So if it's going to be really heavily skewed for one of them, then I know that people are purchasing it maybe because of the image. Then we can also test other things, and there are ways to test this with actual sales as well. But again, I'm just showing you something, for example, because you can't actually test this within Amazon. You can test kind of your package versus another within Amazon, but with competitors, you don't know, because you can't change your listing picture to be the competitor and watch the sales. You know what I mean? So this is something that we have to get kind of objectively from non-actual sales. So this is how it's gonna work. You can actually leave it open-ended, which would be kind of explain your reasoning or maybe explain why and not really ask a question, but I'm going to do votes and explanations, which is great because look, it says compare 2 or more items, choose a winner, and receive votes and written explanation. 3+ items will run in a ranked or head-to-head round robin format. So I'm just gonna do 2. I think that really narrows it down. So I'm going to say, these are all vitamins for your eyes. So I'm going to say, these are eye vitamins. Which one would you purchase over the other and why? Okay, so this is very clear. I want to be very clear with my questions so people know. So I'm letting them know that they're vitamins for the eyes. And again, obviously everyone who's going to be polled is not going to be person in the market for that. So I'm just kind of getting the information objectively, like, hey, if you had to pick, which one would it be, right? So let's scroll down here, and then you can add a third option. I'm going to leave it here, and then I'm going to do audience. And this is cool because you can customize it. So let's do 100 people. And you see the price goes up. So it looks like it's $1 per customer. And then you can actually target audience, which is what I'm gonna do. And I'm going to pick, you can put Amazon Prime members right here. So this is what I really like. It adds an extra 30 cents per person, which could be worth it, I think, right? So this is great. An extra 20 cents actually. So that's great, because we know that they're going to be Amazon shoppers. And then add more audience. I don't think I'm gonna go anywhere kind of more detailed than that. If you were selling a product, let's say that's specific for men or specific for females, you can add these as well. See, you can add a male, and let's see, gender preference, the price goes up. It's an extra, actually, let me see. Oh, okay, gender, personal, let's do male. So I guess, yes, it added more. So yeah, it added more to that, but it's not, I guess, too significant. That's if you really want to nitpick, but for now, I'm just gonna leave it at Amazon Prime members. So just added an extra $20 for the gender. It looks like the Amazon ones are more expensive. So we'll leave it at that. So this poll would cost you $150. With my discount though, you can take that to half. And by the way, if you don't want to start out with 100 people, maybe you can start out with 50. It really depends on your comfort level. You can do 50 people. That will bring your rate down to $60, which honestly I think is quite a good investment. And with my coupon code Karina50, it's only $30. I mean, think about this. If we go back to all of these things that I talked about of other ways to split test in my previous videos, a lot of them are pre-launch process. So for example, if your market has a lot of color variation or design or type of pack, for example, if it's a 2-pack, a 4-pack, a 6-pack, or a bundle, for example, if you're selling an iPhone and you need to know if it does well with a charger or AirPods, this is just a very generic example. But obviously, if you know the data kind of more close in proximity, of course, when you start selling, that's when the real data is gonna speak. But if you have a good general bird's eye view idea, you can actually, you know, manufacture the product in the right direction, as opposed to manufacturing something based off of opinion and not really getting input from other people. That's really going to help, and then you can kind of get closer to it. And also this is good for packaging design. Say you got a graphics editor to do 2 different variations. This is, by the way, right here, your package versus competitor, or versus your other potential package. You can see all this. I break this down in heavy detail. It's like a 20-minute video in the last one I made. But of course, before you actually have the package manufactured, you can use this to test, and you can actually only use 50 people. You don't even have to do targeted, so it's only gonna be $50 and then $25 with the coupon code. So you kind of understand. And especially if you're going to a really competitive market where you're some people do invest like $10,000 for a product, which, I mean, I think that's too much. All my students know, anyone who's in my Into a Milli course or in my PL club, it knows that I like to teach this business model low risk, which can be done under $3,000. So, you know, you don't have to spend too crazy amounts of money on other aspects, but people that do spend a lot of money do probably want that security of kind of getting data, and that's why they can even go really high. Yeah, so share results in our poll gallery, enable downloading results. Okay, sure. We'll enable the downloads, and I'm not gonna share them because I don't know. Okay, so anyways, did I pick an age range? Okay, no. Gender, age range, collected, oh, okay. So this actually allows you to collect other things. Oh, interesting, look at this. It gives you a lot of different things. I didn't really even kind of venture into this, but you can actually collect a lot of things. I wonder if anything eye related would be on here. But anyways, I don't need to get too specific on here. I mean, there's a lot of behaviors. And if you look at this, if they told me that this is used for authors a lot to test kind of book covers and things like that, which is really interesting, right? If you're alcohol drinking behavior, I mean, there's a lot of things. Book format, what's easier to read, cat owner, coffee drinker, cooking interest. Let's see if there's anything actually that could relate to this. But I just think it's interesting how detailed this is. Podcast listener. This doesn't just apply to Amazon. Honestly, if you have something personal you're testing, you can do that as well. But we're just gonna keep it simple. And then we're gonna go to checkout. let that load, and I'm going to actually run the results. I might need to wait a little bit for the data to accumulate, and once it does, I'm gonna come back and actually show you what responses people actually showed me, because I did say that tell me why. So I want you to actually see the results come in, and it's actually cool because you can see the votes tilt up and down. So I'm gonna wait for some of the data to populate, and then we'll read through it. Okay, so once you run, this is what it's gonna look like. It's gonna say your poll is running, collecting data, and the question. These are eye vitamins. Which one would you purchase and over the other, and why? So the other thing I do want to mention is when I first checked this, there's a button that says preview your poll. Make sure you click that because it's gonna show you the images next to each other. And when I first looked at this, my images were actually not in the same scale. So this one was much smaller than this one, which can inflate the data and make this one look better. So just make sure that they're in the same proportions. So you're kind of eliminating any other possible factors, because if you are gonna be spending money, you wanna make sure you do this correctly and not account for anything else. So I'm running this for 50 responses, and I'm just waiting. And once responses pop up, this will be where the explanations are, and I'm really excited to see them. And I believe you can also ask people to elaborate more on their responses if they weren't clear enough. Here in real time already, I turned the camera off a minute ago, and already it says 10 respondents answering. The data flows in so fast. Let me refresh this and check. So down below, someone already answered. So right now we have one vote for the left row, which says the packaging for A is much more eye-catching. So we'll see. People are typing away. I'll come back when there's more responses, and we can play the game of waiting which package wins. And while we wait, can you please comment down below which package would you actually buy? I'm actually curious. Why don't we add to this experiment and tell me if you would buy option A or option B, and give me a little description why you would buy it. These are eye vitamins, okay? I'll see you in a second when more people are on here. The results are in. I would say it took about an hour to get the full results. I was waiting for exactly 50 of them to come through. So what did you comment down below? Let's see the winner. The winner is A. But I wouldn't say it's a winner by much. You can see 56% of people chose this versus 44%, so it's nothing dramatic, but perhaps you can improve your packaging if this is your packaging, and do kind of equalize it more, or even tip it over to 50%, because obviously your goal in Amazon is to capture as many sales as possible. So the thing is, we can look at these responses and you can see how incredibly detailed they are. So even if your package doesn't win, you can see what improvements you can make now, right? You can read exactly. Let's see what they liked about this package, right? They say it's more eye-catching, it's informative, right? Some people say it looks a little more credible and trustworthy. It's trusted, effective vitamin based on the logos, company and general design of the box. So maybe this one needs more kind of logos, because this one, the logo is maybe smaller, right? And maybe this #1 doctor recommended is also helping. Let's see what else they say. Trustworthy, blue blocker sounds too cartoonish, while option A sounds more professional. So you can see, you can read through, it has a lot. Again, with the packaging is bright and bold, so you can take tips from this and apply it to your packaging, and maybe your packaging needs to also be bright and bold. You can test this, right? See, a lot of people say that option B doesn't have enough colors. So, and then who says the box design looks familiar? Maybe you could stick to colors that are well known in the industry, such as blues. I mean, blues and greens, I see them all the time in vitamin shops, so maybe that will help. But people do like this, right? So you can merge the two. A lot of people comment, so you should read through all of these, whatever it is for your product, and get what they are saying. It's quite great. And the cool thing is, if you scroll down here, it tells you the age demographics and what directions people are leaning more towards. So if you have kind of an older audience or a younger audience, you can see to which side it appeals more, right? So looks like younger people like the second packaging more, which makes sense because it's more modern. So younger people tend to like more modern things, and then as you get older, it actually shifts more to the left side, which is the kind of medicine-based looking packaging, perhaps because they value the medicine aspect of it more. You can see their education levels, high school, okay, anyways. And then here, ethnicity, and also gender and income levels, which is also interesting too, because the lower the income, they prefer the left side more, maybe because it's more generic, maybe because it's kind of like the generic brand. And then the higher income people prefer the kind of modern looking packaging, perhaps maybe because modern is associated more with luxury, simplicity, more expensive things, right? It's a lot. This can give you a lot of data. Even if, again, if your product doesn't win, then you have a good direction to kind of push forward. And that kind of is cool because there's other things you can test, such as, like I mentioned before, the color scheme. Even before you launch your product, the packaging type, you versus your other option, the color, the design, the bundled pack, 2-pack versus 4-pack versus 6-pack. There's a lot, right? There's a lot you can test, and you can also actually export this. So you can click download it and download it as a PDF or a CSV file, and then it comes up this really helpful. Actually, I was very pleased with this downloadable situation. But anyways, I think this gives you a lot of value and could prevent a lot of costly mistakes moving forward with your products. So you should take this into account. You can use my code Karina50 to get 50% off your first poll. That's a significant amount, so do use that if you are planning on doing this poll. I think it will be very helpful. Anywho, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Really test this out, see how this could help you. Anyways, do subscribe, like this video, and I will see you in the next one.